A Practical Theology of Family Worship, Richard Baxter's Timeless Encouragement for Today's Home by Jonathan Williams. This is a 104-page book, a very lovely book about family worship, as the title suggests. It exhorts heads of families to lead their families in worship, but it also shows the blessing that worship is, and the blessings that worship will bestow upon the family. As he says in his preface, based on the conviction that Baxter's encouragement for family worship continues to speak to the church today, this book is fueled by a desire to examine the biblical portrait of family and God's heart for the home. I was expecting this to be completely about Richard Baxter, like a dissertation or something, but it really wasn't like that. It was much sweeter. There's much more passion and love in this book. And even though Baxter was writing a very long time ago, he writes about things that apply to today, which is exactly what Williams points out on page 101 when he says, although Baxter's writings and ministry took place more than 350 years ago, his theology of family worship carries implications for today's church. And as Packer pointed out, if we strip his ideas of their 17th century dress, he has as much to teach today as any man of this day. And also, Beeke points out the same thing by combining both a historical study with a practical implementation through the eyes of Baxter, and then adding contemporary implications for our own day. This book makes for an informative, stirring, and hopefully life-changing read for many families. You'll find that there's actually an entire brief biography of Richard Baxter, which I found very helpful. And another thing I really appreciated about this book was his second appendix found on page 115, which gives a possible family worship liturgy. It's called A Sample Guide for Family Worship. And it was very helpful to sort of look at what a liturgy for family worship might look like. I have one final quote for you to end this review. It says this is on page 107. I am convinced that prayer is one of the most powerful and greatest blessings we could ever bring through the front doors of our homes. It is a habit worth cultivating, a spiritual discipline worth practicing, and an aspect of family worship worth enjoying.